is Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1. Let's get some reaction from both managers.
Very soon we're going to win this kind of game, but for sure in this moment the performance is very important, because if you draw tonight and you don't deserve the draw, probably you are happy about the result. For sure this kind of game soon we're gonna win, but the performance has been very good.
Well, disappointed with the results, because I think we deserve more, and at the same time very proud about the team. The way we played here against this opponent in this stadium, they have battered every opponent here, and obviously it wasn't the case today. But after doing the most difficult thing, scoring the first goal, very disappointed how we conceded the goal. Nowhere near the standards, our defensive habits, how we allow that, and the moment you allow the space and time to any of their players with the quality that they have, you're going to get punished. So that's not bad luck.
Let's just take a look then at how things stand after this. Arsenal sit fourth, for many the favourites to win the Premier League at the start of the season. They find themselves 9 points now off Liverpool at the top of the table. For Chelsea, they are level on points with Arsenal as well, with a slightly better goal difference. And more on this, let's welcome in, shall we? Frank Leboeuf joins us, Julien Laurens as well. We're here from the
I'm not sure they really deserve more.
Well, there you go. I didn't even have to answer the question.
I'm not right.
Calm down, Frank. Blooming heck, we just started.
I know you get what you get. I mean, I think they had a smidge more control, Arsenal. I don't think there's much doubt about that. The stats would back it up. But once again, they've had the lead, like they did against Liverpool, and they've not been able to see it out. It wasn't a great game, was it?
No.
I think the big takeaway for me is actually not Arsenal. It's actually how far Chelsea have come. I mean, we think about them last year, we think about the performance at Liverpool this year where they lost, but they had a lot of control in the game. They got hammered in match day 1 against Man City, but since then they've sort of gone from strength to strength. And it was how much they were able to be competitive with an Arsenal side that's way ahead of them. You know, Chelsea are not title contenders, Arsenal are, and should be and still can be. But it shows how much good work Enzo Maresca has put in, and the confidence he's got in this squad of players that he's working with. He's got rid of some of them. He said, look, big decisions, you're going to go to the side, these are the guys I'm using. And he's obviously got a good handle on the ones that he wants to use to operate. From Arsenal's perspective, one of the big issues for me, amongst other things, is up front, can you win the league with a passenger?
Kai Havertz is the said passenger in your opinion?
I think that is coming back to be a big problem. I think it was Friday's show. We talked about him quite a bit on here. Frank was here. We put a graphic up about where he is with Premier League goals amongst some others, and he's way down the list. But I don't want to pick on him, but they've got a front guy, a number 9, who's not doing a lot of linking up, whose general all-round play is just average, and he's not scoring goals.
He was just a hair away, though, from opening the scoring, wasn't he, from that quick free kick?
Well, he is, but at the end of the day, he was in offside position. I'm not blaming them. All I'm saying is this is an area of the field I think they have, and they are, carrying a player that is not going to be good enough to take them to the next level. And the more I see him, particularly this season, the more I'm backing myself in my own opinion about him up. Now, if he goes and scores 15 or 20 goals between now and the end of the season, I'll hold my hands up. But at the moment, Kai Havertz, for me, is a liability in this side, not a huge asset.
Sorry, Frank, but I just want to go to Jules. Is that fair, Jules?
No, I think it's harsh. I don't think you can call Kai Havertz a liability in this team. Okay.
Well, he's only got 4 goals.
Since the Odegaard injury, he's
not playing well.
But since the injury, I think the Odegaard injury had a big impact, obviously, on the team overall. But if there's a couple of players who this impacted even more, one is Havertz and the other one is Saka. Saka because you became over-reliant on him, and without Odegaard next to him in the triangle with White or whoever was the right back, I think it was more difficult for Bukayo. And same for Havertz. I think Odegaard and Havertz have a very strong relationship too. And the fact that Odegaard wasn't there was a lack of creativity in the team while Odegaard was out that I think impacted Kai Havertz and his own performances. But in terms of pressing, in terms of what he brings to this team, he started the season really, really well. It's only really when Odegaard got injured that his numbers started to fail. Not so much before. So I think it's a bit harsh.
Well, I think Bukayo Saka, I think defenders are playing him better now, if I'm being honest. He got played well in Milan in midweek against Inter. I thought Cucurella did a great job on him today. He's playing a lot of games. He gets kicked a lot, he's playing a lot of games. I think he missed 2 games recently.
Came off today, didn't he?
And it was the first time he's missed back-to-back games for however long it is or whatever it is. So he plays a lot of games. He's a player I really like, Bukayo Saka. There's no doubt. And I agree, having Odegaard back in the side will definitely help. But I don't think Kai Havertz, I don't think having a player that presses, if you press well, fine. Right? That's fine, but that's only getting you one facet of the game. There are many other facets of the game that you need to do well, and I don't think he does. I really don't. And I think the reason I'm bringing that up, because he's in such a key position, and they are chasing Liverpool and Man City, and it is going to be a slog now to the end of the season, and they're going to need goals. And you can't just rely on Odegaard coming in, and Bukayo Saka, and Martinelli, who's been inconsistent, and Leandro Trossard. You can't just rely on them. They have 2 number 9s that are not goal scorers. Gabriel Jesus, who he doesn't fancy, who he bought, and Kai Havertz, who he bought to play in midfield. He's now playing as a number 9. And I'm just looking at it and going, will they and he score enough goals to hunt Liverpool and City down over the course of the next 6 or 7 months? And for me, the answer is going to be no. And I think that's a huge problem for Mikel Arteta.
Let's go back to Frank's blasphemy and throwing his hands about. What frustrated you so much, Frank?
Well, Mikel Arteta, I don't like his comment. They were quite disrespectful toward Chelsea. I think it was just a fair result. It's not because you score an offside goal or you have 2 chances at the end where your 2 players are offside that you were dominant. I mean, that guy has to respect the others in order to be respected. We saw Enzo Maresca saying that the 2 teams did their best and showing respect towards the Gunners. And it's not the case for Mikel Arteta. I was a little bit upset with his press conference, after game press conference, where, yeah, we were dominant, we were better than them, we deserve to win. Since when? Since when? I saw the game, and I would have said it fairly if it would have been the case, but it wasn't. It wasn't really. I felt that Chelsea was much better in the first half than Arsenal, and Arsenal finished better because I think physically they were better than Chelsea. But overall, who can say that Arsenal was better than Chelsea? Never. There are chances, but they were offside, so it doesn't count. So yeah, I don't like this attitude. I mean, respect the others, otherwise you won't be respected.
I think maybe a bit of frustration there from Mikel Arteta as well. That
you can understand it as well. What's it, 4 games now without getting the win, when you're just seeing Manchester City drop points left.
I mean, they didn't play badly in Italy. They lacked some guile in the forward areas again, and we were a little bit like that today at times. It wasn't. We're not seeing this Arsenal side at full throttle.
Yes.
As good as, put it one way, I think there's a good 10 or 20% to come from this Arsenal side. I do. And if they can find that, and they can stay clear of the discipline issues and the injury issues, then they can mount a challenge. Because I think Liverpool at some point will come back to the field. I think they will. And City, we saw and we are seeing their problems, and they continued yesterday. So it's not doom and gloom for Arsenal, but they're going to have to find that extra 10, 15, 20% that they did at times last year when they were steamrolling teams. We're not quite seeing that at the moment.
It's so frustrating from Arsenal's perspective, because obviously if they kept this good form going, Jules, then they'd be sitting in a position close to Liverpool at the moment. They're dropping points at the same time Manchester City are. The question is, can they make the same sort of comeback that we expect City to?
Yeah, I think 9 points already after 11 games is a lot, let's be honest here. And I agree with Craig in the sense that Liverpool won't keep this incredible run going. They can't win every single game between now and the end of the season. So there will be times where they drop points. How many? We don't know. They might be the only team over 90 points this season. City will get better. I agree with Craig again that Arsenal will also get better. But you can expect Chelsea to get better, to keep improving for what is the youngest team in the league. I think Spurs are still a bit up and down, but if they get consistent, they will get, etc., etc. So Arsenal will have to respond after the international break, where their fixture list gets better. They had a tough run. We said that before. We looked at it. There were tough games, Liverpool and Newcastle away, and obviously Chelsea away as well. We're not going to be easy. Plus, you go to Inter Milan. So all of that is good. After the international break, it should get better. I think the most worrying, maybe in a sense, is that, and you touched upon it, Dan, against Brighton, they're in the lead, regardless of the red card or not of Declan Rice. They're in the lead and they drop 2 points. City, they're in the lead, they drop 2 points. Liverpool, they're in the lead and probably deserve to win that game. They drop 2 points late. And again today, they're in the lead, and away from home is never easy, obviously. But the way they conceded that goal, by the way, both goals were really poor. Colwill covering everybody, or certainly Martinelli on the Arsenal goal, and the way Neto finds that space in midfield when Arsenal are usually so good and so well drilled in the 2 lines of 4 when they defend without possession. I thought the 2 goals were quite disappointed, but for Arsenal, after the international break, that's where they have to put a massive, massive winning run together.
Yeah, Christmas is going to be crucial, isn't it?
If,
Frank,
if I may, Dan.
Frank.
Yeah, if I may, on the Gunners goal, that shows me exactly the differences between Arsenal last season and Arsenal this season. You know, we always talk about Mbappe or Vinicius Junior not coming back. You should look at Martinelli when Neto asks for the ball, is next to him and doesn't follow. So you can say Gabriel didn't go out, that Havertz maybe didn't anticipate, but Martinelli did exactly something I never seen last season. That everybody was united, everybody was spotting at the Gunners, everybody was making the effort. Martinelli is next to Neto, doesn't follow, and then after you can see him smashing the floor, saying, come on, the defender, why didn't do it? That's where they're different from last season. Check that out.
I'm presuming, I know Martin Odegaard's not going to Norway.
Right.
I'm presuming, I haven't seen the England squad, I'm presuming Declan Rice isn't going to go and play with England with a broken toe, because he must have taken an injection in that to play. So.
And we saw Saka, as we mentioned, come off as well. So you'd be looking to make this opportunity.
As long as everybody's going to be smart with these internationals, because that's just a huge concern going forward. That, I understand international managers want players, but if players have been carrying injuries or have injuries, there has to be some sort of common sense to the clubs here.
Kylian Mbappe's free. He could come and play for England if he wants, Jules.
For you.
Yeah, I think so. But it is interesting what Craig picks up, isn't it? The sense that, look, we've got all these players carrying in, and this isn't just an Arsenal problem, but this international break could prove to be a very good break for those sort of players.
Yeah, and I expect between tonight and tomorrow, maybe even Tuesday morning, a lot of players being ruled out of those international Nations League, for example, or if you're in South America, the qualifiers. We've seen already a couple of names, so some are properly injured, like a Rodrigo, like a Militao, unfortunately for them, Militao especially. But for others, something even tiny, like a little strain somewhere is good enough to stay at home and get some good treatment for the next 10 days or so and to be ready in 2 weeks' time when the leagues come back.
Back injuries.
Yeah, back. Shaka always says the back because it's difficult to analyse,
Always go...
Because I trust Shaka to be the expert on that.
Because back in the heyday, the club would just phone up your international manager or your association and say, such and such is out, he's injured, and they'd go, okay.
Yep.
But that all changed. It was you had to go away and be assessed by the international doctors. But go for the old back.
The back. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. The back is like the old stomachache when you're a kid.